to report the death of King Von. If you don't know, he was killed in Atlanta after his crew ran into a rival rapper's crew. They got into a fight. Shots were fired. King Von was shot multiple times. He did not make it. He passed away at the hospital. Now, hip hop has been reacting to his death, and I'm going to be very honest. I think a lot of people, whether they know him or not, or whether they just became a fan, or even if they didn't know his music, when anytime a rapper dies to tragic circumstances, we're definitely saddened. But also, especially a rapper that you like, and also a rapper who you've seen in much worse circumstances. I've been following King Von since he was, locked up, came out, he was trying to do a thing, obviously worked. So his story is a little bit different for me. However, there was one person, and actually just a few people, because if you don't know, and this is why, if you wonder why I stopped doing the Warren Chirac, after a while you become disgusted with it, and you become disgusted by the fact that people continue to perpetuate this violence by pretty much dissing the dead, making fun of the dead, making fun of people's pain, people's trauma, and then it's almost poking a bear or a lion. The person who's being made fun of for their pain and trauma is being trivialized and made light of. That person then feels like they gotta do something, retaliate. Okay, revenge killing, that's been going on in Chicago for a very long time. Now, it don't only happen in Chicago, it happens all over the place. However, when you see it, especially in hip hop, it makes it just even more disgusting. Okay, now, what am I talking about? While I was reporting the death of King Von and also the people who were reacting to it, a guy who was a close friend of mine, Tekashi 6ix9ine, obviously was not that sad about King Von dying. If anything, he looked like he was elated. He was pretty joyful. Okay, he commented on two of my posts, putting a bunch of laughing emojis, and then he took to Lil Durk's page where Durk was expressing his sympathy for the loss of his brother, and he said, "Listen, Nuski, now Von, you still rapping? Go pick up a gun," with a bunch of laughing emojis. Now, I do have to say, and especially someone who is close to him, that these comments were absolutely disgusting. Okay, I don't stand by them. I don't co-sign them. Me and him, we had a conversation yesterday to the point that, later on when he was trying to communicate, it felt hard for me to even communicate with him because, again, that's just not in my spirit in terms of going at someone or getting mad at. First of all, of course, I love Vonnie. I love, like, Lil Durk anyway, but still, it's just not in my spirit to ever go at someone after they've died or go at someone while they're mourning someone's death. And I try to get that across to him, which obviously I think he's going through trauma himself. If you want to know what he told me, he said, "Listen, Ack, why not?" He said, "If I died, they'd do the same thing." He said, "Yo, when they ran a story or when there was news reports that came out that I quote over, everybody was like celebrating and was saying, damn, why couldn't he have died? So why if someone that I don't like, they pass away, why can't I be happy?" Now, I just personally feel that death absolves all. If you beef with somebody, they die, feel it's over. It's over. I think that's where forgiveness has to come in. You have to get past it. You cannot continue like these negative feelings. And also, when you keep speaking, I think we're learning this even with King Von. When death is always on the tongue, it usually is around the corner. And we've seen it with a lot of rappers who rapped about death, from Biggie to X to even King Von. When that's the core subject of what you're talking about, a lot of times these people meet their demise at a very early age. So again, I just looked at it and I was like, yo, Six, you my guy, and like, he's my friend, but that's whack. He gave me that was a whack move to do. Just like I would feel some type of way, if God forbid something ever happened to him, even with all the fuck shit he's done in his life, I would be like, damn, again, I just believe after someone dies, you need to have somewhat of a reverence for not only that person and the fact that they're no longer here, but also for the people who are mourning them. And I get that him and Durk, he might feel like they're into it, but it doesn't mean that he should be continuing to try to poke at Durk while Durk is mourning a friend. I just think that's super low. I don't like it when people, even in Chicago, be like they're smoking or whatever pack. That's low. I don't like what 6ix9ine did. And again, it made it really tough for me to communicate with him, especially yesterday, because Me and him, we usually have a musical friendship and relationship. Pause. But on a day where Vaughn died, and pretty much he is a conversation of music, okay? Because he was a artist on the come up. It's hard to communicate with someone who he doesn't get it. So again, as I prayed for Vaughn while he was living, and he was going through his ups and downs, and of course living his life, and you heard some of the content on his tracks. Also, you've seen some of his tweets. And by the way, I'm not trying to make Vaughn sound like no angel here, okay? I wish Vaughn wasn't, while he was alive, constantly making fun of Tuka, making fun of other people who died that would be considered enemies of his. You get me? So I'm not saying Vaughn is an angel. I'm just saying the cycle has to stop. And the cycle has to stop because what happens is this usually breeds more violence. When you see someone making fun of your loved one who passed away, and they're over here having the time of their life while you're hurting, you usually then say, yo, I'm about to do something about this. So again, this is how I see violence get perpetuated. Again, I'm just saying what 6ix9ine did. If you ever wanted what my opinion is, completely disgusting. He commented it on my page. I did not repost. Um, I hope he learns that that's just not the way to go, right? Just like I hope a lot of other people learn. Okay, whether it's people in music or outside of music. Again, when I was covering the war in Chirac, I realized this was a never-ending cycle of revenge violence that was always spurred and instigated by someone basically talking about someone dead homies. I mean, if you look at even FBG Duck, made a song called Dead Bitches. And of course, he met his demise not a long time after. Again, I'm just saying I feel like there should be a reverence for death, and there should be a reverence for the time period that someone's mourning, and also just people's, losses. Again, a death ends the beef, in my opinion, right? Anyway,